Gene Ubriaco's storied hockey career spanned nearly 50 years, starting as a player, then coach, and now executive. His passion for the game began long ago when he watched his older brother John take the ice.
My brother Johnny was a good hockey player, and I always wanted to do as well as him, if not better. And the thing about it, he never made it to the National Hockey League, but he led every league he was in. He belonged to the Toronto Maple Leafs, but he was small. He was a small guy, you know, like myself, not a big guy, but a good hockey player. Actually, I think he was better than I was, but I always wanted to make it to the National Hockey League. But many people told me I was too small, and that just drove me to make it. I'll tell you, I look back now, and I have so much respect for the game. I was just obsessed with making it.
The Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario native was signed by the Toronto Maple Leafs and was sent to the minors to develop. Despite putting up sizable numbers, he failed to crack the parent club's lineup.
5 years with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I think I got one exhibition game. Led their team in scoring in the minors. Most valuable player, never got a chance because they were winning 3 Stanley Cups at the same time. So I finally asked them to trade me to Hershey, which was an independent team, when I was like 27 years old. And the reason being that I wanted to know where I would play. And when you know it, 3 years later, expansion comes, and I couldn't be drafted because I was owned by Hershey, and only players owned by the National League. And here I go to the draft as a reporter, because I worked for a television station and a radio station, and I'm covering the draft for a local station in my hometown. And while I'm there, all these coaches and managers are coming to me and asking me about the players they just drafted, because I had scored 40 goals a year for the last couple of years. And you didn't think that was hard, and they were drafting guys with 5 goals and 6 goals. But on the strength of that, I knew that if I held out and did not sign the following year, that NHL teams would sign me. So I held out in Hershey for almost $10,000. You know, I wasn't fooling around.
Because of the holdout, and more importantly his production on the ice, Ubriaco was traded to the expansion Pittsburgh Penguins on opening night of the 67-68 season.
I got in at 2 o'clock, went to the game at 5, dressed, and I actually was in the starting lineup against Mark Beliveau. So that's my claim to fame. I was 29 years old, played in my first NHL game.
After 2 seasons and a brief stint with the Oakland Seals, he was traded to the Chicago Blackhawks, where Billy Ray was the team's head coach.
And I tell everyone, Billy Ray really loved me when I came here because he kept me on the bench right beside him. I came here at Christmas. I came here actually 5 days before Christmas. And first time on the ice, played with Stan Mikita. First time he passed me the puck, I scored a goal. I never played with Stan Mikita again.
On the ice, Gene Ubriaco, number 19, picked up in that trade which sent Howie Menard to this club. This is Ubriaco to the center line, to the blue line. He's got Pappen on the right wing. Pappen leading again. A shot to goal! A beautiful play again.
After 25 years on the ice, Ubriaco decided to take his career and his life in a different direction.
I started the Rolling Meadows Hockey School. It really was my start here in Chicago in youth hockey. And after that, I went to Lake Superior State, and I was assistant coach with Ron Mason. And I recruited for him, recruited a lot of kids from Sioux, Canada, and helped coach. I went to class and made up my mind that I was going to be a professional hockey coach.
His first opportunity behind the bench was with the brand new Chicago Warriors of the United States Hockey League, a team he helped form with longtime friend Mike Nardella.
The Chicago Warriors came to be because a big Mike Nardella met a fella that was building a new arena, and he wanted to have a hockey team. And what's interesting about it is it's almost identical to what the Wolves are. And the only thing is we didn't go into the IHL. We were able to get into the United States Hockey League.
The Warriors were slated to play in the new Odeum in Villa Park, but construction issues forced the team to compete in the old Chicago Stadium.
And the Warriors existed for 3 or 4 years. I was there for the first 2 years. And then from there I went to the Milwaukee Admirals.
In 1977, Lloyd Pettit, owner of the league rival Admirals and former Chicago Blackhawks announcer, signed Ubriaco to fill the midseason coaching vacancy. The Wisconsin club went on to win 10 of their last 12 games under Ubriaco's tutelage. The following season, the two men moved the team into the International Hockey League and led them to the playoffs, a first for an expansion team in the IHL.
Proud of that because no team had ever made the playoffs their first year. And a lot of guys that were in the league said, I'd crazy if you tried to make the playoffs. But that's another story. We did that for 2 years, and then Minnesota wanted to put a team in the Eastern Hockey League, and with Lou Nanne, and I went there and put the team in the Eastern Hockey League with Minnesota.
In the mid-1980s, Ubriaco found success coaching the Baltimore Clippers in the Eastern Hockey League and the Nashville and Birmingham South Stars in the Central Hockey League.
Charlie Scott will pick up the loose biscuit. He's got Doug Robb on his right wing. The pass to him. He shoots. Stick save by Skorodensky. The puck is there, and had it just taken 1 or 2 more rotations, it would have been in the net.
Then in 1987, while coaching the Baltimore Skipjacks in the AHL, he faced an impossible situation. The franchise was sold and run as an independent team, making it difficult for Ubriaco to sign quality players. The team finished with only 13 wins.
The worst year of my life. I went through 57 players that year. And of all the years, it was the worst year I ever had in hockey, in terms of wins and losses. But other ways, it was a great year, because I learned to be humble.
Center ice, just in front of the off-ice officials. Joe Ricci and Gatso, too, goes down onto his knees, and the linesmen come in to break it up.
Lo and behold, at the end of that year, after the worst year of my career, we went 15 or 16 losses in a row. Don't I get approached by the Pittsburgh Penguins, to coach Mario Lemieux and the Penguins. After all the years I'd gone to the finals, won a few cups, I could never get a chance in the National League. After my worst year, I got called to the National League.
One of the goals set by the rookie NHL coach was to return the Penguins to the postseason, a feat that hadn't been accomplished in 7 years.
A lot of people don't realize, but trying to take a team that hadn't made the playoffs in 7 years, you got to get away from a lot of negatives and a lot of ghosts. I always felt that the first thing you do is learn how to keep the puck out of your net. Went out and got a couple of good goaltenders. We traded for Tom Barrasso and brought Wendell Young. Wendell Young had played against me, played in Hershey for a number of years in the American League. And I always knew he could handle pressure.
Murphy skates right back into the Penguins in left side. There's Eklund, cuts for the net. His shot. Wendell Young just robbed him with a glove save, and McCurry lost sight of it, and Wendell Young made a big save early in the third here on Pelle Eklund.
That season, Ubriaco's Penguins finished second in the old Patrick division, broke several franchise records, and brought playoff hockey back to the Igloo. They even had their own version of the Super Bowl Shuffle.
U.M. Brown on a 2-on-1. Tanner's yapping and Connie's slapping. Quinn's got a tapping right in front of the net. Look in the corner, there's a race for the puck. Carfield's coming like a V8 truck. It's Ube's boys. Ube, doobe, doobe. Ube's boys, yeah.
Despite his first-year success, Ubriaco was let go after only 20 games the following season. He didn't stay off the bench for long, however. He went on to lead the Italian national team in the World Games in 1991 and remained at the helm during the 1992 Olympics. Upon returning to the States, former NHL star Phil Esposito offered him the coaching job of the Atlanta Knights of the IHL, the farm team for the new NHL franchise in Tampa Bay. Then came an offer he couldn't refuse.
Found out that the Chicago Wolves were going to be forming. I interviewed with Buddy and Don Levin in Italy at the Olympics and the World Games. And he gave me the opportunity to come to a city that I really wanted to be at. And from the day I walked in, I was very confident we were going to be successful. I had always said the most important thing was to have a team that would be like the city we're in, ambitious and aggressive. And that's the kind of team we put on the ice.
Ubriaco so impressed Chicago owners Don Levin and Buddy Myers that they hired him as the first head coach in Wolves history.
Coming into a major league market, we had to have a team that was major league in every way. Because, you know, my old saying, you don't have to be in the majors to be a major leaguer. But that would have not happened had I not had the ownership that was here. And all he ever wanted was us to win.
As he's done several times in the past, Ubriaco brought out his plan for success. It started with a backstop, the most important position on the ice.
While you're building the team, he's going to circle the wagons for you. So you get a good goaltender, you create a system that they learn how to play with a lead, not giving up a lead, learn how to win with a 1-goal advantage, and then develop your team. You have to have grit, second effort people. I think we had a lot of those players that were above average in intensity, but they come to play every night. And then speed, always had speed, and a good goaltender, because a goaltender, he gives you leadership. He's your leader on the ice.
2-on-1 into the right circle, Intronuvo centers, Thomas Young, what a stop! Wendell Young able to deny Scotty Thomas, he was down! Ubriaco ran the Wolves bench for 141 games and then moved into the assistant general manager position. September of 1997 brought a breath of fresh air to the organization. A brand new GM and head coach teamed with Ubriaco to bring the first of 3 championships to Chicago. Dahl golfs it into the air, out to center ice. Seamack is going to get this one in the slot. Shoots, he scores! And the cup cometh to Chicago!
It legitimizes. It just legitimizes what you're doing. Because we've won the cups, people, they get aware of everything the Wolves are. Maybe, if we hadn't won the cups, I don't think they'd take a second look at us. I think I get a kick out of success. I mean, it makes you feel that maybe what you're doing is right.
After all he's accomplished in 4 decades of hockey, Ubriaco doesn't accept the credit. He gets emotional when he speaks of his wife Nella, his inspiration.
Obviously, I couldn't have done it. She made me pursue my dream.
He's been a part of numerous hockey franchises over the years and has found much success, but Ubriaco feels that the Chicago Wolves is perhaps his biggest triumph.
I couldn't be more proud of a hockey organization than the Chicago Wolves. I remember Don Levin says, well, what can you do for me? And I remember saying, I try to give you a team you can be proud of. And I think that's probably the most important thing, that he is proud of our hockey team, as I am.